Hi, Sam here from the Sam Moussa Show. We've got Brad Nemish back here from Capital Mortgages, and today he's going to talk about the stress test. There's been a lot of talk about stress test. What are we approved for? What are we not approved for? What does it mean? We brought the expert in. Brad, can you please touch on this subject just to kind of give our viewers a bit of a take on what it actually means, the stress rules, because there's so many different things involved in terms of this.
Excellent. No problem. Thank you for having me on the show again, Sam.
My pleasure.
So the media has been beating the drum on the stress test since January, and but the funny thing is, stress tests have been around for a lot longer than that. I started 15 years ago, and back then, even if you wanted a variable rate mortgage, you had to qualify at the higher stress test rate.
Okay.
Now, if you didn't qualify, you got a fixed rate mortgage, and it wasn't that big a deal. But now you have to qualify for stress test for all mortgages, insured and conventional mortgages.
Okay.
And these rules have progressively changed from November 2016 with the insured mortgages, and now the conventional mortgages in January of 2018.
Okay. So in regards to the stress test from previous, like you were saying, so this stress test has been around. This stress test has come out in 2018 as a total brand new thing. So you're saying this has been around for a lot longer.
Absolutely. What's happened now, it's for 100% of the mortgages across the spectrum of lending.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So back 2-3 years ago, if you were getting a rate of say 3%, you would qualify at 3% of the payment, and that's what the maximum amount of the mortgage you could have.
Okay.
Now you have to qualify at the Bank of Canada posted qualifying rate. Today's rate is 5.34. It's just gone up.
Okay.
And so now you have to qualify for 2% higher to cover off the possibility of the rates going even higher in the future. So what it's trying to do is just trying to prevent payment shock for the future.
Okay, that makes sense. And in regards to the stress test part for let's say for a first-time buyer.
So the first-time home buyer rule has been around for since 2016. So they're already used to this test. We've already had the market shift and go through all of the first-time home buyers getting used to having to qualify at the higher rate.
Okay.
So that's not new, but not everyone understands that. And people think that it's a big problem that I can't qualify for any mortgage anymore. But that's what's happening is it's limiting the amount that you can borrow. So you end up borrowing slightly less.
Okay, that makes sense. So I guess with the first-time buyer that has a bit of a daunting experience with going through this, it's not so bad, is what you're saying?
No, it's not. And as we lead people through the process, you showing them houses and me showing them what they can afford and what they can't afford, we always can come up with some kind of plan.
Okay. And I guess the one of the big factors of me taking a client out to go see a property is sending them to you first, see what they qualify for, know what you're going to give in terms of financing before we shop for their ideal home, correct?
Absolutely. You know, there's a lot of marketing attention put around the fact that, you can just go online and use any kind of mortgage calculator and you can get pre-approved in 30 seconds. It's really not the case so anymore. I've had a number of people come to me in the past and said, well, my bank said I was pre-approved for X, but when I actually went through, I wasn't.
Okay.
And that just means that there's so many little different rules along the process that they need to know ahead of time, and that's what we're here to do, to try and help them through the process.
Perfect.
And collect a lot of documents up front, make sure that we have all your income and down payment ahead of time so that we will know when we actually go into an offer situation with you.
We're prepared.
We're prepared.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thanks, Brad, for having come on the show today. You know, we really, really appreciate your information and what you've given us. This is great. Stay tuned to our next show. We will be doing these shows once a week. We will be bringing on great people like Brad from Capital Mortgages. And Brad, I just want to say thanks again.
Thank you.